Hello, fellow Star Wars fans. My name is Star Raptor, and welcome back to the channel. This is my recap for the comics that are included for week number 18 of the War of the Bounty Hunters epic Marvel comic crossover event. This week we have two comics. We have Darth Vader and we have Boushh #1. So getting into Darth Vader issue number 16, this is called Target Skywalker. So if you read issue number 4 of War of the Bounty Hunters, then you kind of already know the story for the most part. It's going to be one of those parallel stories where we're not getting a whole lot of extra content in this. We have Darth Vader chasing Luke in his X-Wing as Luke buys time for the rebels to get to Han Solo, who's currently encased in carbonite in the clutches of the Crimson Dawn. So basically, Luke is trying to dogfight around. Meanwhile, we have Ochia Bestoon, who's fighting Sly Moore. And Sly Moore is, being very mischievous and going against Vader by sending out these droids to actually help Luke repair his crashed ship so he can get into the battle. And Ochia Bestoon gets stabbed by Sly Moore, and she kind of gets away. But Ochia Bestoon does warn Darth Vader that the Hutts, basically Boku the Hutt, has plotted against the Empire, and that's where we leave off in issue number 4 of War of the Bounty Hunters, and that's where we leave off in this. The best thing about this was Ochia Bestoon versus Sly Moore, but other than that, I'm starting to get a little bit antsy and a little bit less patience when it comes to these tie-in issues, because especially with Darth Vader, I haven't really found a significant reason to keep on reading these. Otherwise, just making sure I have the full collection, of course, but these issues just keep feeling that they're repeating themselves as far as those couple issues that, those couple pages that do the introspection with Vader looking at Luke and stuff like that. We've seen that so many times. It feels like they're just kind of treading water at times with these comic books. And at this point, it almost seems like I could just read through the War of the Bounty Hunters miniseries and have a great idea. And that's the whole purpose, right? Is to get those miniseries, but to have the introspection on the characters on the in-between. And that's my feelings with Darth Vader. But that is not my exact feelings with Boushh #1. Yes, that character from Return of the Jedi has been so mysterious, we get to actually find out their history in this issue. That's right, we're getting into the backstory of Boushh, and it's not just him, but it's his collection of comrades that are from the planet of Uba 4. So it's him and 4 others. They've all been basically excommunicated from their culture. And a crazy thing about Uba 4 is when you're an Ubese person and you basically get excommunicated from the planet, you can't ever come back. They basically erase your name from the records, and they did something terrible. Boushh did something terrible to where he cannot ever return back to the planet. But we have really two stories that interweave very well by Alyssa Wong, writer of the Dr. Aphra ongoing series. Boushh and their compatriots are working for basically Crimson Dawn. They were given a mission from one of the lieutenants named Margot to go after Domina Tag and the Tag Corporation specifically, which is very heavily interwoven in Dr. Aphra stories currently. So they go to this ship. Domina Tag is the one that's the leader of the Tag Corporation. She has a bunch of underlings, and it's all family, right? All these family members that are all kind of wheeling and dealing and kind of getting a bigger piece of the pie than the other family member. It's a very cutthroat sort of little society that they built up for their own family purposes, right? So she's over there trying to keep things under control, and that's when we have Boushh and all those warriors show up. And they're there to make 250,000 credits, and they basically go up against Domina. They lose, but then Domina Tag gives them a deal that they can't refuse, literally. Domina Tag does the homework, finds out that, they never can return, but she has trade relations. She can pull the strings and make it be the first occurrence where, these Ubese warriors are able to return home. That's almost like a priceless thing on top of a much bigger payout if they actually give her information on Crimson Dawn. Remember, she was going to send Dr. Aphra and Sana Starros specifically to this party on Jakara to figure out more about Crimson Dawn. So this is where we get a little bit interweaving storytelling. We also find out a lot more about Domina Tag's backstory as well. Remember, she first appeared in the Legends Marvel Comics, and now we see her in canon, and we get to learn that she was, her family's crazy. Like, they would try to send assassins after her as an early adult, and she's there killing them. And it's just a really good kinetic issue, because by the end of this issue, I felt and I cared about the character of Boushh more than I've ever cared about. And it's all in this one single issue that Alyssa Wong and the artist team is able to actually depict this character as somebody who's sympathetic, somebody that we know is a bad guy, but we don't know the full story. But I'm on board, and I want to know so much more, because by the end of this, Boushh shakes hands with Damina Tag, and now they are a team. So we're going to know about the Crimson Reign issues. Maybe they'll come up there. Definitely maybe show up in the Dr. Aphra series going forward. But this is a masterclass on how to bring a familiar character with an unknown backstory, flesh them out, while also fleshing out the villain of the story in this case, or the antagonist of the story, and do it in a way where it's poignant and it's kind of sad and it's also uplifting at the same time. You got these enemies, you know, making plans and whatnot, you know, so it's really cool how this story played out. Also, there's really nice tie-ins to Legends material with Damina Tag and having this like plasma sword that has to be powered with like a cord, which is what the old school Jedi used to have, like a power pack to actually make the blade emit. And she was talking about how, you know, the plasma blade isn't as good as it can be and all this stuff. And she's really cutthroat. She's offing her own people as it is, you know. So this is a really good story, and I definitely stand by the critical praise that it's been getting online. This is probably one of the best Star Wars one-shots I've ever read. It really just is a great story from beginning to end without you really needing to know a whole lot about everything outside of this story. It's very self-contained, and that is why it's definitely worth picking up. Darth Vader number 16, wouldn't really recommend that, but I can't recommend Boushh number 1 enough. So what did you guys think about this week's comics that tie into War of the Bounty Hunters? Let me know in the comment section down below. For more on Star Wars, I have plenty of Star Wars content that I've been releasing at a blistering pace because there's been so much new Star Wars recently. So go ahead and subscribe to the channel so that way you never miss out on any of that content. As always, I've been going strong with my weekly Star Wars podcast, Outer Rim Transmission. Make sure to go ahead and subscribe to that podcast feed and go check us out every Friday at 9 o'clock Eastern. We do go live. So that's going to do it from me, Star Raptor. Thank you so much for watching, and may the Force be with you always. Thanks for checking out the video. Please hit that thumbs up symbol. It helps me know that I'm making content that you guys enjoy. And if you enjoyed this video, I also include 2 videos down below you guys should check out. And please consider subscribing to this channel. It helps support me, and it notifies you guys of when I get new videos up on the channel. You can also contact me on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram at Star Raptor.